All right, today we are diving into LangGraph, which is, honestly, one of the most exciting tools out there for building truly advanced AI. We're going to break down exactly how it's being used to create the brains for a whole new generation of AI agents. So let's get right into it. And this quote from Anthropic's co-founder, it just hits the nail on the head, right? It points to this massive shift, this idea of a new parallel world that's being powered by a completely new kind of AI. So what exactly is building this new world? Well, it turns out that world is being built by something we call AI agents. And let me be really clear. We're not just talking about your everyday chatbot here. No. This is a whole different ballgame. They represent something way more capable. So what is an AI agent really? The absolute best way to think about it is like a junior digital employee. It's an AI that goes way beyond just answering questions. It can reason, it can plan, and this is the crucial part, it can actually take actions on its own to get a job done. Okay, but here's where things get tricky. Simple, straightforward tasks are one thing, but what happens when the job gets complicated, when your digital employee needs to double back, make choices, and handle tasks that don't just go from A to B to C? And this is exactly where we start to see the cracks in the older ways of doing things. Let's take a look at the problem developers were running into. Now, don't get me wrong, early tools like the original LangChain, they were absolute game changers for creating these simple step-by-step workflows. We called them chains. They were fantastic for things like basic chatbots. And this slide really lays it all out, right? You can see the huge gap. Simple chains are linear, A to B to C. You have very little control, and there's no shared memory between the steps. But for the real stuff, the things we actually need agents for, you need loops, you need to make decisions, and you absolutely need a memory to keep track of what's going on. So you have this problem, this big need for more control, more complexity. And that's exactly what paved the way for a brand new solution, one designed to unlock that next level of control. And that solution? It's called LangGraph. It was built from the ground up with one thing in mind, giving developers the full, granular control they were practically begging for. This is the key that unlocks truly powerful agents. The history here is pretty straightforward, really. LangChain comes out, it's a massive success, but then developers start using it for bigger, more serious projects, and they hit a wall. They need more flexibility. So what happens? The same team goes back to the drawing board and builds LangGraph right on top of LangChain, using this new graph structure to smash through that wall. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does this actually work? What's the secret sauce? Well, LangGraph's power really boils down to three key ideas. Let's break them down. All right, first up, and honestly, this is the most critical piece of the puzzle, state. The best analogy? It's like a shared memory for the entire workflow. Imagine a single notepad that every single part of the agent can look at, write on, and update. That way, everybody's always working with the latest info. Next up, we've got nodes. And don't let the names scare you. A node is just a fancy word for one step in the process. Think of it like a single job function. One node might be search the web. Another might be summarize this text. Each one does one specific thing. And what connects all those nodes? That's where edges come in. These are basically the arrows that show which way the work flows. But here's the magic trick. The edges can be conditional. This is what lets you build in if this, then that logic, or even tell the agent to loop back and try step again. It's huge! Okay, theory's great, but let's make this real. Imagine we're building a research assistant. So step one, a node goes out, gathers a bunch of links, and saves them to that shared state. Then another node kicks in, loops through those links, scrapes the content, and adds that to the state. Then a conditional node looks at the content, decides if it's trustworthy, and updates a score in the state. And finally, a last node takes all that good, trustworthy info and builds the report. You see how that central memory, that state, is the glue holding it all together? So you take these pieces, state, nodes, edges, and you can finally start building that digital employee we were talking about, one that can handle some seriously complex work. This graph approach just blows the doors wide open. Suddenly you can do everything you couldn't do before. Create loops, make decisions on the fly, manage memory. You can even build in checkpoints for a human to come in and say, yep, looks good, before it continues. It's a massive leap in capability. And you can see here how neatly this all maps to the idea of an agent. The brain, that's your big language model. The memory, that's the stateful graph we just talked about. And the tools it uses, those are just the individual nodes doing things like calling an API or searching Google. Okay, so we've gotten a little technical here, but why does any of this actually matter? what's the big takeaway from all this? At the end of the day, a tool like LangGraph changes the entire game for developers. It lets them stop worrying about the nitty-gritty plumbing of connecting code and start thinking like architects. They can focus on the big picture. What's the smartest way to solve this really hard problem?
And this quote just nails it. The division of labor is humans for judgment, agents for execution. It's not about replacing us, it's about creating this incredible partnership where we provide the strategy, the wisdom, and the agents do the heavy lifting.
So I want to leave you with this question, because with these tools getting easier to use, this isn't just a hypothetical for coders anymore. It's for you, it's for me. Seriously, think about your own job. If you could hand off one really complex, annoying, multi-step task to your own personal digital employee, what would it be? Because whatever just popped into your head, that is exactly where this is all going.